Kate, can I call a special meeting of council to order for Tuesday, December 9th? Take approve of the agenda, please. Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor. That the December 9th, 2025 special council meeting agenda be adopted as presented.
Seconder. Councilor Noxana. All in favor? Carried. New business, Tumbler Ridge Community Forest Corporation's council resolution. Report dated December 9th, 2025 from the Tumbler Ridge Community Forest Corporation in regards to council's resolutions. We'll take one recommendation at a time, please. Councilor Noxana.
That the annual general meeting of the Tumbler Ridge Community Forest Corporation be deemed to have been held on December 4th, 2025, and this date be confirmed as the annual reference date for the company, and that the one-year period following the annual reference date be the next annual reference period.
Seconder, Councilor Bertrand. Discussion? Councilor Bertrand.
Just curious on this recommendation about the one-year period following. I know this meeting was definitely late in the year, and we're hoping to move the process up. So I'm wondering if this recommendation will tie us to having another meeting with them on the December 4th, 2026.
Scott.
No, even though this resolution is worded this way, I believe it's still the intention of the Community Forest Board to have these meetings no later than June.
Need a follow-up, Councilor Bertrand?
So I'm wondering if we need to amend this to basically say in 2026 instead of a one-year period?
Well, it's a 1 year from the date. I think, I attended the shareholder meeting. I think there was some holdup in regards to, we thought we sent, not we, but the community forest had thought they'd sent the documentation to staff. Mm-hmm. Realizing that staff had not received certain documentation to move this forward, and it came in, and as soon as it came in, staff had started working on some meeting dates. My understanding that at the shareholders meeting, from the chair of the Community Forest Board, is this will not happen in 2026. It sounds like they will still have their documentation on the time they need it, but have it sent to staff and not miss that opportunity.
Right. Okay.
So I think if something happens, that there's a glitch on their side, this gives them the time they may need. Mm-hmm. But my understanding is staff will see it in June or July.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Next recommendation, please, Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor. That KPMG LLP be appointed auditors for the company for the financial year ending December 31, 2025, and the remuneration of the auditors be fixed by the directors.
Seconder, Councilor Noxana. Discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Third recommendation, please, Councilor Noxana.
That the financial statements of the Tumbler Ridge Community Forest Corporation, the company, for the company's financial year ending December 31, 2024, be approved as presented.
Seconder, Councilor Bertrand. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? Carried. Fourth recommendation, please, Councilor Norbury.
Thank you, Mayor. That Marcia Dufresne, Alan Kangas, Daryl Kukelka, Hugh Kingwell, and Bernie Lehman be elected as directors of the Tumbler Ridge Community Forest for the next annual reference period or until their successors are elected or appointed.
Seconder, Councilor Noxana. Discussion, Councilor Bertrand.
Thank you, Mayor. Definitely in favor of this recommendation. I'm just a little bit concerned about the lack of board members. I believe there was usually 7 to 9 board members. Correct me if I'm wrong, Councilor Norbury? No, this was always 7?
5 to 7.
5 to 7, thank you. So I'm just wondering if there has been any recruitment efforts. Obviously, I should have asked this at the meeting, but I think, I think a full board is important to have more heads at the table, more opinions at the table, to have a robust debate about any kind of decision that's happening there. I'm very happy with the operational decisions being made there. I think they're making very smart decisions with not only their cut blocks and their size of cut blocks, but also harvesting at the right times, but I am concerned about missing 2 board members.
Yeah, I know the CAO's had a conversation with the chair, but Ms. Scott, are we able to share, are you able to share any information there on how that looks and whether we can advertise, we have to leave it up to the Community Force Board and Chair, or?
We don't have to leave it up to, while it ideally would be a joint effort similar to what we do when we look for board members for the library. It's a joint effort. Ideally, that's what we would like to see. But if it is a capacity issue for the Community Forest Board to do that, whether it's the public notifications or notices, or we can definitely assist them, I think, in advertising to fill those positions.
Okay, thank you. Follow up, Councillor Bertrand? Councillor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor. Just try and give a little insight to Councillor Bertrand's question about how board recruitment has gone. It's traditionally been individualized and specific. So, we reach out to people that we know are interested in outdoor recreation, maybe in forestry, and reach out personally to them. Unfortunately, most of these people are also busy with other organizations. I like what Ms. Scott had to say in that, an olive branch was reached out at our recent meeting, and hopefully, they take that offer of assistance to continue to advertise. I agree. It's always good to have new, fresh faces out there. But traditionally, they've always advertised at the AGM. Come out to the AGM and see if it's a fit for you. This last one, obviously, there wasn't. There's another meeting coming up in December for the AGM, and the previous AGM, there was an individual who was interested, just didn't seem like it's a fit for them. So usually that recruitment comes from personalized invitations and recruitment at the AGM. Thanks.
Councillor Bertrand?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you for your response, Councillor Norbury. This only adds to my concern. I certainly don't want to see this board becoming a club. If we're going to pick and choose, I don't think that's fair process, and I'm a little bit concerned about that. So thank you for that.
Yep, thank you for that. And I do, and I was there when Ms. Scott had a conversation, and I think it's something we can follow back with. I mean, obviously, I've been sitting on the community forest. I do. I think we should be advertising. I think the district of Tumbler Ridge, we're the shareholder. We should be asking if obviously we should be doing it friendly, but I think we should be advertising. It shouldn't be a pick board. It should be, if there's community representation that wants to be on a board, they have an opportunity. I mean, if they don't fit the board by council doesn't have to appoint them. We appoint the board members. So it can be flushed there, but I think it's important that, they have a great board. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen, and I've been in a few shareholder meetings, they've always been willing to communicate, come forward with stuff. But, again, I think sometimes whether that's a capacity thing, trying to make sure that there's a blend, but yeah, just to pick, call it a club or whatever. I think there was some communication with the chair and the CAO, and maybe that is that. Maybe they just needed didn't know the direction. We're trying to maybe leave it up to the directors and trying to think that they could bring, the new people that could come in an association and assist, and they all had the same kind of philosophy of making sure the concerns of Tumbler Ridge were covered. And because my understanding, and Councillor Norbury can jump in, but my understanding is when they give funds, it's definitely, it's for Tumbler Ridge. It's to make sure it's a pulse for Tumbler Ridge. Some of the stuff I've seen them do, appliances and stuff within the home ec class at the high school and stuff like, things like that. It's definitely a pulse for our students and stuff like that. So it's reaching, but I think the conversation Ms. Scott had with the chair, I think there definitely we could do something there. Councillor Norbury?
Thank you, Mayor. I definitely wouldn't categorize the community forest as a club. Maybe my comments weren't as explanative as I could have been. When you're trying to recruit for a board, you definitely want to try and find people that have an interest in it. And that's what I mean by, we reach out personally, is that, hey, we know so-and-so works out in forestry. Maybe they'd be interested. We know this person's very active in the community. Let's reach out because, I can appreciate, I'm sure all of us, in our boards that we're a part of, we know who active people are and who aren't. And, you know, if you want something to be done, ask somebody who's busy, because it's not too hard to add one more thing to your plate when you're already doing, you know, 10 things. So it's definitely not selective as, you know, we only want our pals and chums. But I think it is reasonable to expect that if somebody's coming on a board of this nature, that they have some interest in sustainability of forestry management, of harvesting of forest products, and they have some interest in the financial aspects of it, because that's the role of the board. It's not just come and have a good time. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify there. It's definitely not a club. Thanks.
Thank you for that. No, and again, I think it's something, you know, we had an opportunity to meet with shareholders. I'll take a break. Sorry. Special meeting back to order. Apologize, but break comes. Yeah, I think with Ms. Scott working with the chair, and, you know, obviously I'll be joining the board, not that I plan on pushing anything. It's, you know, I understand where Councilor Barry's coming from. Maybe it didn't, you know, maybe we didn't include what you had meant at the beginning, but, you know, I believe that. We need to make sure there's people there that, and I think that's the job of council when we appoint, that we're actually making sure that's the fit. You know, and the board recommends them anyways, but they are the right fit. They are the right fit when we're doing it in regards to that. Maybe they have some forestry background or financial background or that. I think it's important. And you know, I think there's multiple ways of finding board members. AGMs, comments, there's, you know, whether we advertise strong board members or whatever. But I think, you know, I know this board's been trying for a long time to find members. Okay, any other discussion? Okay, gonna call a question. All in favor? Carried. Recommendation number 5. Councillor Noxana.
that all lawful contracts, acts, proceedings, appointments, and payments made by the directors of the company during the last annual reference period, and which have previously been disclosed to the shareholder, are approved, ratified, and confirmed.
Seconder, Councillor Julick, discussion. I guess my comment I'll make, I don't know what was all done in 2024. Some of the comments that were made at shareholder meeting were definitely not 2024, they were 2025. There was talk about some of the new stuff that Community Forest has worked on. And Councillor Lumber, not to put you in the spot, do you have any kind of things that you could let us advise us where, and I believe that maybe the Community Forest was not cutting in 2024, so they weren't sponsoring as much, they were on a hold pattern? Would you be aware of that? And if we're not, I'm fine moving forward. I mean, they've been more than straightforward, open dialogue with all the elected officials. But not to put you on the spot, but just curious if you can remember anything.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to think that their harvesting operations in 2023 were not well due to the fact that lumber prices were quite low, and that did resume partially throughout the year into 2024. But it wasn't like a clear cut, exactly 2024, the demand went up. I want to think this has to do with there is a signature from the district we need every single year to approve the continuation of the operations of the community forest. Yeah, and I can't remember exactly what it's called. It's something that I did forward along, and that we brought back to council last year as a document. I think that's a lot of what this is referring to.
Okay, no, and I appreciate that. I know Ms. Scott has received that. Councillor Bertrand.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I understand your concern as far as not knowing all of the ins and outs, but this is definitely just a confirmation that council is in support of the operations, and so yeah, I'm certainly in support of it. I think they've done a fantastic job managing their small cut block or cut allowance, and also having the challenge of trying to find a buyer. I think that's going to be a bigger challenge in the future, given so many mills shutting down in the province. So I'm definitely in support of this.
Thank you. Any other discussion from council? Call the question. All in favor? Carried. Ms. Scott, question answer period. Any emailed in questions?
No.
Thank you. Take adjournment. Councillor Knoxon.
That the December 9th, 2025 special council meeting be adjourned.
Seconder, Councillor Bertrand. All in favor? Carried. Completed already.
In your office?